bit about our interviewee today, Anuveer Gill. As a technical solutions engineer at Google, Anuveer Gill specializes in supporting Workspace products with the primary focus on ChromeOS and the Chrome browser. Her team partners with education and enterprise customers, acting as their trusted advisors to resolve complex technical challenges. This involves deep troubleshooting, root cause analysis, and the development of tailored solutions. Furthermore, they collaborate closely with product engineering teams, advocating for customer needs and providing valuable feedback to drive continuous improvement in product features, reliability, and user experience. This direct engagement with engineering ensures their products remain robust, intuitive, and effectively addresses the evolving needs of their customers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anuveer. I work as a technical solutions engineer at Google. I've been in this role for about 4 years now, and every day it has been a new day and it's a learning day. I can talk a bit about what is a solutions engineer. Um, as you know, Google has vast products which are used across the globe. So, for example, we are using Meet today for our conversation. So there are other workspace accounts like workspace products like Gmail, Calendar, and many other like Drive and stuff. So we work on supporting those products. By support, I mean we have the front teams which go and talk to the customers when customer reach out to us, so those teams can answer all the basic questions. So sometimes the customers are new to the workspace and they want to understand how to set it up for their business, so they reach out to our support teams, and we have the trained frontline teams who can help customer through chats, through emails. Sometimes as is very natural with any product, there can be issues with the products, and when the customers report those to us, our front teams, they do a little bit of investigation, and then if the problem becomes complex, they come to us. And then we have the another layer in our org, which is the software engineering role. So they are different from our org because they work on creating the product. They are the engineers who go and write the code, and we, if you want to visualize, we are like a connect between the front support teams and the software engineers, because the customer do not understand all the technicalities of the product, and they don't have to. And same, the product teams do not have to interact with each and every customer, and we understand the customer language, and we also understand the technicalities of the products. So that's where we come in. We understand the customer concerns, and sometimes it's our amazing customers who also come up with the feature request, and they'll say, okay, if you add this feature to your product, it's going to be useful. And we see that, okay, this is useful for their business, but if we see this is a really great feature for the overall products, then we advocate on behalf of our customers, and we talk to the engineering teams. So that's a little bit about what our sport engineering team does. It's if you want to say, it's like an enhancement to the engineering teams. We try to, it's like a big funnel. All the customer issues come, and then we are there and we try to tackle many of those. And when there are like real issues which need to be solved at the coding level, then we reach out to the product teams. So this this is a little bit about the solutions engineer role we have at Google, and yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I'm very happy to share my journey, my career, and all the questions you may have.
Thank you so much for being here too. First off, what type of education did you take to come to the role you are today?
Yeah, so my education has been the bachelor's and the master's in computer science. I recently completed another master's, which is in data science. These roles, so our role is the sport engineering role. So it needs that to understand the product at the technical level. So you need to have that strong foundation of the computer science to be able to solve those complex problems for the customers. You should be able to read the logs. You should be able to understand how the services interact with each other, and which service can be faulty and which service needs like an upgrade or any of the bug fixing. So to be able to solve those problems, you need to have stronger foundations. You need to be able to know, okay, how the websites work, how the services work, how the backend services work, and how and where do they find and write their logs. So just coming back to your question, so I did my bachelor's in computer science. That was a 4-year degree. I completed that back in India, and then I completed a master's for 2 years, that is in computer science from California State University, Los Angeles. And then I completed another master's in data science, which was a little bit of expedited program, like 1.5 years.
So, one main reason we started this is so we know what type of classes and electives to take in high school. So, other than computer science, is there any other subjects or skills you recommend learning for this career?
Yes, so any career comes with a multiple variety of the skills. You just can't be you just can't say I'm a really good programmer, but I don't have those other soft skills to be able to work in a team, or some of the collaboration skills, the communication skills. So I do recommend students at the high school level to take good communication classes or the courses if they are being offered at your school, and any of the team building exercises, so that you learn early in the career that it's not just the one person who can actually make great, impactful, awesome products. It takes a whole team to build those kind of products. And if you want to go further, I would say the other good skills that you want to learn is to be able to grab a lot of information and make patterns out of it. So that's a skill you learn with with practice and exercise. It's true for many other skills as well. So you should be able to read a lot of data and be able to make maybe bar graphs, charts, or any other visual which you prefer, and then create information out of it, which in turn creates the action items out of those. Those are some of the skills which are useful as you grow in your career, and also these are useful for businesses to scale up.
So, what would you say your biggest challenge has been?
It depends. If you're asking the biggest challenge is for deciding the career or how to navigate in your chosen career. So if it, I think at your age, I would say deciding a career is one of the biggest challenge. And that's why I think you are having all these interviews, the career in talks. So in deciding the career, I think the biggest challenge, if I think back in my past when I was in middle school or high school, um, and I was seeing these patterns of my brain, that how my brain works. What do I like about it? That if you want to broadly categorize your brain, how it works, the one is a knowledge base. How can you grasp a lot of information and retain it? Right, like getting all of information, like maybe you are taking a history class. There are the historical facts you really can't change. You read them, you learn them, you like them. And then there are the mathematical or the science type of subjects, where you don't have to learn or retain a lot of information, but you have to know how we got to this conclusion, how are we solving this problem. So at that time, I just learned that, okay, I like the logical reasoning type of the thing. I was not that great at retaining a lot of information in my brain. Maybe doctors are really great at that. So if you see, okay, you are good at finding the logical reasoning patterns in your brain, then you know, okay, maybe I like mathematics, maybe I like science. So you can be a research in physics, maybe, or research in chemistry. Some of my friends are. And but naturally, your love for science and maths can turn into technology, and you start loving the tech world. So if I now think about the past, that's where I saw those early onset of my passions that started with science. And then I think it was early 2000s when we got access to what they say World Wide Web, right? And we see, okay, this is Google, this is how the search is. And then it was so amazing to see Okay, you can search literally anything. Now you don't have to scroll through like a lot of books, right? That information is right available at your fingertips. It was really amazing at that time. Now I'm talking about like 24 years back, 23 years back. It was so amazing to see, okay, you can know anything. And this can be a great help in your study, in your career, because you have that information available easily to you. So and from that, you see one thing leads to another, and then start to figure out, okay, how the search works. Okay, there might be algorithms behind it, there are services behind it, and that's how I think that thinking shaped my career where I am today. Just to get the knowledge of the computer science, and then eventually use that knowledge in our sport org per se, and now, that's the first part of your question, the biggest challenge. That's how my journey has been to figure out a career for myself. And then the challenge could be, how do you navigate in your chosen career? So that is also one of the uh, her biggest problems these days, because we have a wealth of information. It's overwhelming sometimes. Okay, for example, if we talk about a very different career, you want to go into movies. Okay, what do you want to become? You want to become an actor, director, screenwriter, playwright, videographer, editor, cinematographer. There are a bunch of things, and you are like, oh, it's a lot. What should I really do? So that takes a little bit of trial and errors that you need to figure out for yourself. In sport engineering also, you can be a solutions engineer who is very customer centric, who focuses on a lot of customer management, and you develop those kinds of skills. And then you can be running business operations, and you are contributing towards scaling up those operations. Or you can be too much into the technical details, that you interact with the product engineers and you focus a lot on the programming side. So there are small realm out of every career, and you need to do a little bit of each and everything to learn which works best for you.
Um, Technical support engineering isn't a role that most people are aware of. So, how did you come to this role?
It's interesting, actually. Um, So one of the Google's amazing recruiter, they reached out to me, and I was also like one of those people. Okay, what does a solutions engineer do? And they were so elaborate in their answers. They spent like 30 minutes explaining me what exactly do they do, and that's when it was really interesting for me. Oh, okay, we have all these mature products there, and of course there's going to be few issues, bugs, and the feature request with these products when we have like millions of the customers, and we're going to be working on those features, those issues. And that's where I found like, okay, this is really interesting, and this is a direct application of what I have learned during all my education. So I understand the role isn't as known as maybe a product engineer, software engineer, or maybe even the sport frontline personnel, but it's definitely a career to think for.
So, what does your day-to-day life look like?
Um, my day to day, I have tried multiple things, and finally, I found out like few things work for me. I tried to categorize my day into different work chunks. So the first part, the foremost, is what I explained, that how we deal with the customers, how we try to solve their issues. So that is the one part. And the second, excuse me, second could be that we work on scaling up operations. When I say that, I can give you an example that recently I got an opportunity to work on a really good project. We are setting up a new team. Like I said, we have different sport teams, and then we have our teams, and then we have software engineering teams. So you can imagine we are interacting with a lot of teams there. So there is a workflow which goes through it. And that workflow needs to be updated, analyzed, scaled up, so that our operations are efficient. And to do that, we are introducing a new team in the front lines. So setting up that team and setting up setting them up for success. That has been one of my main focus from the last year. And it has been very interesting to see, okay, how the teams get into what they are right now, and or what could be the success criteria for them. So you want to say, okay, we want to solve maybe 1000 customer cases with this much efficiency, if you want to say it. Okay, 50% efficiency, if you say. So we want to create those metrics. We don't want to create it too easy. Okay, with the 10% efficiency, everyone can achieve it. We don't want to say 90%, which might be unachievable. So finding those right metrics and implementing those and checking out all other works flows for those teams, that has been one of my other goals for the last 2 quarters, I would say. And then there is third part to my job, which is I keep for some of the ad hoc requests. So there can be escalations from the customers, like they escalate and talk to our VPs. Okay, this is not working. You come and fix it. And of course, we are the people who going to be working on those. And then there can be some other requests and the helps which I'm doing for our teammates. And I'm reviewing our documentation that it is up to date. And if you want to add or delete any content which has been obsolete. So that's how I have categorized my work. And if I still get some more time, I try to devote that to learning and development. We have few tracks which are focused on different areas like communication, leadership, whatever skills you want to learn, and there are ample amount of resources for those. And so if I get time, I try to finish one of those.
So, how do you maintain your work life balance?
That's a really important question. So I don't call it work-life balance in actual. So I do consider that work is an essential and very integral part of our lives. We spend a lot of time at work, and I would say I spend more time talking to my colleagues than we are spending more time with our family. So that is definitely an important part, and your life has to move around your work. So it's mostly the question is, how do you maintain a healthy life for you? And the healthy life for individual can be different. You need to define what is a healthy life for you. For me, I can say, okay, I want to have 7 8 productive hours during the day, and I should be able to learn something outside of my work, some different thing which I want to do, maybe in life, like a 20% of my time for that. And then I want to be able to have to be able to all do all those, I need to have optimal health. So yeah, I need to devote some time for workout. So if I'm able to achieve all of these three in a day, I would say, oh, it is balanced day, it is discipline. So you just need to find those, and finding those is just the one step. You need to find the time to do all those. So you need to define the blocks of time in your calendar or any other app which you use for making your day schedule, and then you need to just execute that plan. And also, we I have seen we all are very good at writing our to-dos, right? But we need to do one step further, not just writing the to-dos. We need to go and see when we're going to be doing those to-dos. So you can categorize your to-dos in different categories. Okay, this is a work related, this is my self growth, and this is something I want to maybe make a passive income out of it. And maybe, and this is what I do for my health. I go for yoga classes, I do mindfulness, and I go to gym, I eat nutritious food and all that. So there can be 3 or 4 categories for your work streams, for your life actually. And then you need to find the slots, and as well as you need to find a space in your home. So if you're working or studying from home, living room can't be a place where you do any productive work, I guess, because that's the place we use for entertainment or hanging out with family and friends. So you need to find maybe a separate corner in your home where you which works as a cue for you to get started into your that habit, that okay, I see this place, this is a chair for my work or study. So I go there and I start working or studying like effortlessly, and like it's a subconscious habit that I have developed. So you need to write down your to-dos, and also you need to find the time slot as well as the place to do those. That's how I've been doing it, but it's always a lifelong learning, and you need to modify according to what's needed right now.
Previously, you shared challenges about finding your career. Can you please share challenges specific to your career?
I would say working as a solutions engineer, you are expected to be able to understand and support multiple products. So in Google, we have like workspace divided into multiple areas, and you can be focusing on, for example, Gmail. But Gmail has a lot of parts to it. It's a very mature product. It's a vast product. So you can be working on the supporting the front line of the Gmail or the backend servers of the Gmail, and that is just one part to it. And there can be multiple products which you can be supporting. So you need to know a lot of ins and out of many products. So that can be a little bit challenging for some of the individuals, and for most of the individuals, I would say, because it's like you need to know the breadth first approach, then the depth first, they say. So you need to know the wider space rather than knowing the deeper of any of the products. That has been a little bit challenging in this role, but as you go along, you get more experience, then you get a chance to work on some products in a deep manner, and on some maybe not that deep, and then you can figure out some ways how to learn for other products as well. So it's just like I said previously, it's the overload of the information sometimes that can be challenging at many places.
What have been some rewarding moments in your career?
Yeah, I definitely can't pick one actually. So there have been very happy moments a lot of times. Throughout the journey, right from maybe doing my college in India and then coming to United States and starting my job here. Uh, I can share a little bit. In India, I used to do a lot of the coding competitions, and Google has been very student centric company, so they create a lot of platforms which are student friendly and give a bigger platforms for student to apply their knowledge. And I was a part of those coding competitions since long, and they are very fierce and very stressful, to be honest, because you are competing against a lot of world's best coders or the very smart people there. And I was doing those for like 3 or 4 years, and one of the rewarding moments for that was one of the competition known as hashtag, and I was able to pass through a lot of rounds for that, and I was able to see my board on the one of the international dashboard of first 100 players. That was a very satisfying moment for me, and it also um, motivates you to pursue the career in the tech industry. The the other some of the happiest moments has been, of course, coming to the United States to be able to study what I wanted to study, to be able to find a job where you studied. Those are definitely satisfactory moments in your life, that you what you studied for, that's what you are working for, and that also made my family proud, which is of course the happiest moment for anyone if their parents are proud and they are able to see their child being successful.
Congratulations on all those achievements. Um, so, what advice do you have for teens that want to consider being a technical solutions engineer as a career?
That's a great question. So I would definitely say that you need to build a good, strong understanding of the computer science first at first place. You don't need to go too deeper and learn maybe 100 algorithms out there. That's not what you need to do. But you need to be able to understand how the APIs work, how the services work, how do we deploy services, what are the challenges in those. So those all will come with the foundational knowledge of the computer science. And then, as I said before, you should learn and practice a lot of communication skills, because the communications by communication skills, I mean to be able to convey uh, convey your stance in a rightful way and set the right expectations with the teams or the stakeholders or the customers, and be clear about it. So the communication is definitely one of the strongest skills TSC can have. And the others are like the collaboration skills, the team collaboration, team building, uh, and I think we talked about to be able to discern a lot of information and be able to understand that information quickly and make patterns out of those. So those are some of the skills. I understand it comes with, gonna come with an experience, but those are some of the subjects that you can focus on.
So how do you see AI specifically impacting your career as a TSC?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, as a TSC, I see AI in many places. The first and foremost are our chatbots, which our customers use. So, you might have interacted with Amazon's chatbot, like if you're having some issue with the product delivery and you talk to them, and you would say initially you're not talking to a human, it's a robot which answers your questions very efficiently. Same, we have like small to medium to large enterprises, these customers, they reach out to us. And they reach out first, when they reach out to us, we have a chatbot which is trained on our knowledge base. We have many thousands of articles which has a lot of information, like how to set up your accounts, how to navigate through all our products, right? It's a knowledge base which the AI model is trained on those, and so that it's able to answer all those questions. So when a customer reaches out, it's our chatbot who can answer a lot of questions. Think about it, if it can deflect like 70% of those answers, because sometimes it's just a question answer that a customer is looking for and they are not able to find within the public article and they want to reach out to support. So in that way, we have reduced like 70% of those queries coming to us. And also there are two advantages I see right away, that we have increased customer satisfaction. Customer was able to find their answer so fast. And then we have also saved the human time, which can be used on more productive task, like I talked about scaling our business. So this is just one example of how AI can help the support teams. There can be like, for example, we have a case with a customer. It's going on for like 3 months. So it's a complex issue, and we are requesting some information from the customer, and then we are passing some information to them. They are telling us something, and we are answering them. So there is a lot of back and forth over the emails which go with them. There can be like 100 emails there, and these all can be with the front level teams which I talked earlier. And then if the case becomes so complex that we need to jump in and see what's going on, how can we help the customer more and expedite the resolution, that's when I have to read like 100 emails just to understand what has been done so far in terms of troubleshooting the issue, and what the customer's ask is currently, and how the sentiment of the customer right now. So I can have an AI just provide me a concise summary of what has been done so far, what has been the customer sentiment. So it provides a concise summary, which saves me maybe reading all those 100 emails, and I can just get to know the status of the issue in like 5 to 10 minutes. That's where it saves so much of our time using all these AI features.
Finally, do you think a technical solutions engineer is a career to consider?
Yes, definitely. I've been in this role for like I said 4 years, and it has been amazing. And not a single day that I would have felt that okay, it was not the productive day, or that there wasn't something new to learn for me. There is definitely something going on, and you would understand, oh, okay, this was also the case I didn't know about. So if you are looking for a career which is dynamic, ever learning, ever growing, and it's not static, and that's what we definitely are looking for all the time, right? So TSC is a career to consider. It gives you an opportunities to see yourself into different paths. You want to be closer to the product, or you want to be closer to the customer management, or you want to just expand your team, be able to um, uh, execute the workflows rightly. You want to write those maybe automation scripts so that your team works efficiently. So there are a lot of different areas where you can focus as a TSC also. So it's definitely a very fulfilling career. It's very satisfactory, and it's definitely that's what I would recommend.
Thank you so much for meeting with us. This was very helpful and we learned a lot. Thank you
TSCs
so
are a very interesting career, and thank you so much.
Oh, that's great. Of course, it's been so pleasure to talk to all of you. I consider all of you like young scientists, and if you guys are on right trajectory in the future, we as a human society move forward. So it's always so pleasure to see how our young generations are thinking so much at this age right now, that what to do with your career, how to be productive. It's so um, inspiring, and yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mhm.
Here's some takeaways from today's video. Collaboration, communication, and teamwork are important for career successes. Understanding and solving problems with data is a valuable skill. Career exploration takes time. It's okay to try different paths and find what you're interested in. Make time for things that are important for you. Focus on learning a little bit about products rather than going deep into one. Strong communication skills to share your thoughts with customers and teams. TSEs are the link between customer problems and the engineering teams. Aim for a lifestyle that reflects your values and priorities, and you will have a good work-life balance.
Hey guys, hope you learned something new from this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Bye!